Let's go! Militaria fair in Best, close to Eindhoven. Because it's September, almost the celebrations of Operation Market Garden. 2-day fair outside. So the event is in Best, close to Eindhoven right now. We're literally driving on the battlefields. I believe we're the 101st Airborne jumped for the Operation Market Garden to capture the Son and Breugel bridges and the bridges near Eindhoven. And the museum is right on the battlefield. The usual building up we got to do. We're getting better at it every time, me and Jolanda. This time it took us roughly 1.5 hours. It's always a bit of finding the space for all the armor. All set and ready for this 2-day event. It's a living history event, so there's a lot of reenactors on site. Also, the museum is open for visitors here. Later on in the video, Jolanda will take us along. She gives us a tour across the reenactment side and the museum. Hopefully the instructions I gave were good and she was able to get some nice footage. Here our stall as it's built up and ready for hopefully some sales. And yes, awesome t-shirts. Check them out on the website. We got some available. Some sizes already sold out. Our small people, this event, looking true original 82nd Airborne parachute. View on the helmets.
Deze moet je onthouden. Want daar moet je naartoe. Niet vergeten, in je agenda zetten. Doei.
Thanks Jolanda for the reminder. I guess we got a new event coming up very soon in Belgium, the Leasley event. Really cool event, been there many years ago and the organizer invited us again and yeah, we're gonna rock it next year. So we'll be doing a lot more events next year. Plan is some extra events in Belgium, Netherlands, Italy, possibly Normandy this summer, so stay tuned. Alright, first time at this military fair in Best. At the museum here, we're all set up. Choop choop. And I'm gonna give you a small tour around the fair here and show you what it's about. Goeiedag.
Het lijkt juist kleiner.
I believe in the back there you got the reenactors. Also there I see them camping in the forest.
Ja, even dit stukje, ik ga niet heel rond.
There's Jolanda again, but I'm a little bit distracted.
Oh, gaat lukken, hè? Dankjewel. Koffie.
Ja, want als ik geen koffie kan, drink ik iedereen.
Hey, Bas.
It's Sunday.
Goedemorgen.
With all this militaria. Where can they find you?
Here, in Best.
Yeah, online.
Only on Miltrade at the moment.
Miltrade.
Still thinking about a website, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Some nice medals, things like that.
Lekker. Echt, ja? Dat is zo'n spier is dat. Ah. Oh, dat is niet van meer, dat is hier van domino. Ja, ja, so was irgendwie zusammengelegt. Ich denke, das auch etwas von 21. Ist auch gesagt. Ze was even kijken, mooi. Ja, oder eine Medaille. Das kann man gleich bestreiten.
There were some good traders here with good quality stuff, me included of course. But there are always bad guys at the fairs, so always be very careful when you buy original militaria. At this fair also there was a seller who was not honest, and I must say compliments to the organization, because they told him he was not welcome anymore on day 2 because he was simply scamming people. So big up for the organization, and yes, it was a great event. On video it's not finished yet, but we were really happy to be at this show.
Voor mij is het ook, weet je hoe lang duurt het voordat ik dit heb afgezet. Ik heb ook weer andere dingen gevonden waar ik winst op ga pakken. Nou.
Een beetje hier en een beetje daar.
Kijk.
Ja, daarom.
Hey. Goeiedag. So this was a small tour across the event. It's not a very big event, mostly also set up, you know, for family with kids. See the reenactment, the museum. Overall, it was a great day with a nice amount of visitors. Good atmosphere, sunshine, militaria. What else do you need in a weekend?
Verboden om aan plaatjes op te plakken. De latere helmen hadden vaak plaatjes erop.
Let's go.
Nee,
Die, ja, dat meisje die.
Ja, er staan een heleboel soldaten.
Alright, here we go. Jolanda has given us a tour across the event, the reenactment part, and also the museum. I'm gonna quickly talk you through it. I did speed up the footage a little bit, else it will take way too long. Anyways, hopefully Jolanda has got a steady hand and can give you a nice view on this event, so that maybe you can visit it next year. So the setup was behind in the forest, and I did not see it with my own eyes. This is the first time I see this event and this footage because of all the customers. I have to be at the stall, and in many times I cannot experience the events like you guys do it. Anyway, by the looks of this, I'm a little bit novice on the reenactment part, but they really put their effort in putting in a nice camp in the forest. Here using like the white parachute. Here they're probably chilling in the night, having a beer if they are allowed. Loads of airborne displays around. And I guess we're going to the field hospital, a little makeshift bridge. The Dutch are so inconvenient. And yeah, some wheelie jeeps. To be honest, not sure if these are wheelies or modern made, but you know, they look cool. They do the job. Now finally some big stuff. Well, if it's big, this one is big. I believe it's called the Big Tom. Is that 150 millimeter grenades it's shooting? Very cool unit they have at the museum here. I believe this is part of their permanent exhibition they have up here. I've been at this museum one time before, but it's hard for me to recall. I believe it's 10 years ago, 8 years ago. So it was time to come back and see if they made some nice changes in the museum. So here part of the German base. It looks to be like a Bofors cannon, I think. Was used in many different countries in World War II. I believe the Germans also used it. I thought originally a Swedish production weapon. And it's good to see they also have the German reenactors at the events. Because in my opinion, if you really want to explain about the history, you gotta tell both sides of the story. Because both sides had young men fighting and losing their lives. If you explain how good the Allies were in liberating Europe, then you should also explain how it's possible that the Germans wanted to conquer Europe with all the indoctrination that took place in the many years which led up to the war, because that's the only way to learn from it. You can learn to fight a battle to win it, but it's more useful to learn how to avoid people wanting to start a battle to begin with. Nice Harley type. I'm sure the motor professionals can confirm or not if it's a good one. They look good to me, but I'm no expert in motors. Jeeps in abundance at this event. I guess Jolanda is dwelling around a little bit. Some old foxholes. At this location in Bast, during Operation Market Garden, Lots of paratroopers dropped here, from here to conquer the bridges at Sonnenbreugel and Best. Heavy fighting took place in this area. I believe last year or 2 years ago, a metal detector found a German still in his foxhole with all his gear. There are still some Germans in this area who lost their life and have yet to be found. Oh, it's a mini airborne motorbike and some reenactors. Nice half track. Also during these days in the Netherlands they have tours with tanks and all vehicles driving through the liberated villages as part of the 80 years commemorations. Also upcoming weekend we will be part of some of the commemoration events. One in Renkum and Arnhem and one at the Arnhem War Museum. That's on Saturday and Sunday, so you can meet us there. That was some of the ammunition used for the long tom. Those are heavy shells, I can tell you that. Nice show in around Jolanda. I told her it was important to get all the guns and the vehicles in a good shot. Here's some nice anti-tank gun. I believe that one would be Russian. And here the Katusha launcher. So I guess she entered the museum. Curious what we will find. I've not been here for some years. Back, Jolanda. Back then it was still kinda messy, but so far by the looks of it, I think they changed a little bit with the years. In this museum, I'm just reading the signs in the meantime, seeing the exhibition. So I believe they give a complete image about World War II, and besides that, some more specifically on Operation Market Garden and the area where we are at this event, Sonnenbreugel, Eindhoven. Here's some footage from the battles of Berlin. Display with Russian soldiers. Yeah, that looks good. I've also been in many museums in Russia when I was still able to travel there, in Stalingrad and Minsk. The displays there look about the same, so I guess they did a good job here. Some liberation art showing what, for example, wedding dresses from parachutes, German helmets which got turned over into cooking gear. Some more personal stories from the war added in this museum. 75mm gun, 1940. Here's a small display about the hunger winter we had in the Netherlands. The last years of the war. There was a big shortage of food and the Dutch resulted into eating tulip, how do you say it? Tulip seeds, things like that to survive. And the Allies did many food droppings. Actually, I believe in coordination with the Germans. So the Germans approved for the food droppings and would not shoot at the airplanes. I believe you also see that in the latest series from Spielberg, Masters of the Air. Here's some of the concentration camps. Images. That's a book about Vught. And the city I used to live in here, I think it's a 30-minute drive from this museum. They had a SS concentration camp there, and the trains from Vught past Best and Eindhoven on their way to Auschwitz and different other concentration camps. So this area of the Netherlands is definitely part of the Operation Market Garden area. So if you're in the neighborhood, be sure to check out this museum. It's called Bevrijdende vleugels in Dutch. It means liberating wings in English. And it's along the Market Garden route, close to the Joe Mann Memorial. Here's some guns and pistols from World War II for display. I believe you can touch them, as Jolanda does. Wonder if she ever hold a gun that size. I'm not gonna make a bad joke now. So yeah, really cool for the kids, or of course for the adults. A man here explaining about the guns. Pretty sure he's telling also about gun safety. So for kids, and wow, we as adults also like this stuff. Guns are always cool. Here, a relic display on the wall. I like my relics, so I like to see this. Finds from the bottom, it reads in Dutch. So in Europe, it's a whole culture of metal detecting and finding the items which tell the history. There's hardly any places in Europe where there was no fighting. There's always something to find. Still gives me goosebumps every time I pick up like a casing and you clean it and you see the date. Realizing the place you're looking, there was once a soldier fighting. So moving on in the museum. That's a hobby on its own. What's the English word for it? The plastic model building. Sorry guys. And I guess this is some kind of flight simulator. Jolanda told me she visited it.
Ja? Oké, hij is voor jou.
Demonstration. Makes cool sound. Nice setup for it, yeah, in the museum you can, I guess you can land and crash an airplane. Pretty funny, I was hoping it would crash. Oh, that's a nice piece for the man cave. Nice display from the cockpit. You guys can tell. Well, I guess Jolanda is moving on to another part of the museum. So what do we have here? Display with Dutch soldiers, looking at the helmets and the flags. With a Kubelwagen they confiscated. That would be a display from after the liberation. And here a very nice one, FLAK 88, with all its gear. This is what I want to see in a museum. What are you looking at, Jolanda? Some weird guy in a window, I guess. Nice try, yo. Yes, that's the one we want to see. There are some Bailey Bridge displays, of course, because of lots, all the canals in the Netherlands. So they were used a lot. Liberation display here. Again, the German display. Unfortunately, behind glass like this, but it's needed in the museums. People can't hold their hands in their pockets, unfortunately. Rangefinder. And that's American anti-tank gun, I believe. Yes, the airborne scooter. And a nice glider over here. Waco. Many landed in the fields close to this museum. So yes, for the museum this is a very important part of their display. Some old footage being shown. Original footage from the liberations of the villages in Eindhoven. First part of Market Garden relatively was a success. Unfortunately, they could not make it to the bridges on time at Arnhem. Joe Mann, he died not far from this museum, got killed by a sniper, was awarded the Medal of Honor. There we go. Some more of the displays here with Allied items. And here I see a German display. Not all items in the museum are original, but the majority is. I guess for a museum that's okay. Here you can have a walk in one of the gliders. I think it's a full-size replica they built here. That's is that a DC-10 airplane? Like the one we also saw in Croatia. Only that one had a little bit more stickers on it. You can see it in episode 3, I believe. Here's some of the RC models. These actually are made like with steel tracks. They have an engine in it. Pretty cool pieces. Look at that at the bottom, these German ones. Look at that punted tank. It could well weigh around like 15 kilos or something. Lego 2.0. Yak Panther. They know their stuff. And oh, V1 rocket. Got some relics from it available in our web shop. Check it out. Many of these rockets landed in the villages in the Netherlands. They did not even make England because of failures, etc. Very famous incident was Antwerp when one fell on a cinema. I believe there were 700 dead. It's about Operation Berlin. Personally not familiar with that one. Some more half tracks, M3. I believe this is I see Chevrolet. British display. More half tracks with some decent machine gun on top. Feeling .50, I reckon. So the museum, yeah, pretty much tells the whole timeline of Operation Market Garden, alongside with the original footage, as you can see here, the roads they took. It's well worth the trip, and I believe in if you take a week time, you can visit the whole route with all the sites, the museums. That was about the Polish heroes who also were an important part of Operation Market Garden. They fought like heroes, helping the British, but unfortunately the Polish were put to blame for the failure of the operation, which was not the case. It was not in Polish hands. Just wrong decisions at the top. So yeah, Polish people, they got a special place in the heart of the Dutch people. They liberated large parts of the Netherlands, also where I'm currently living. So, kurwa bobber, guys. Thanks. Lots of information about these areas, flight plans from the airplanes, divisions that took part in the droppings. 1944 when it all happened. Here's some nice original parachute they used in the arch. We also got some original pieces of parachute available from Operation Market Garden. You can find them in the web shop. Yeah, Jolanda is really showing a lot. She's doing a good job. Here's some more about the Holocaust. Of course, takes up a very important part of World War II. The photo you see in the back is from Camp Vught, which I told you about before. Digging friends that I know, they found a lot of SS dog tags in Vught from soldiers who were pulled back from the front. They were all cut up, 400 pieces in one hole. A crazy find it was. Again, some available in our web shop, www.rocksteady/militaria.com. Some display from the occupation years in the Netherlands. So a man from the NSB, that's the Dutch Nazi organization. Anne Frank, well known of course. Some parts about the resistance. The Dutch soldier. Yeah, the information is wide in this museum, which is really cool. It really shows it from A to Z without being too complicated. Some Dutch gear from World War II, which they used. We fought for some days against the Germans, but it was just too much. Some say, oh, the Dutch surrendered really quick. That's not actually the case. Most of these guys really gave it all, and the Germans, they were astonished by the heroic fighting the Dutch did. And in some places, the Dutch invasion even failed. For example, they dropped in Rotterdam and they got annihilated at the airfields there. Same as in the north of Netherlands near the Afsluitdijk. But they were eventually able to push through and completely bomb Rotterdam flat. So that was the point that the Dutch said, it's enough. And well, I guess Jolanda here is gonna put on a war helmet. Or not. Yeah, there we go. Looking gorgeous, baby.
Well, I've been gone quite a while. I wanted to go back, but now I'm hearing a lot of sound, so I want to check it out. What is it? What is it?
Oké. Ik val ik stel voor dat we gewoon even camouflage doen. Dat is altijd wel gaaf om straks.
Hoort bij, dat is de oorlogs.
Hij begint met camouflage. Hey, ik camouflage kun je ook gewoon over een
Kan er iemand hier zitten?
Ja, dat weet ik maar. Hier zo aan de zijkant. Dan zie je niks meer.
Well, I was hoping for some action. Meh. Well, I filmed a lot, and as I said, I filmed a lot. You might cut some stuff out. I don't know. I did my best. So cut some.
Well, you did a very good job, Jolanda. I only cut some a little bit. So yeah, back at the stall. For us, this was almost the end of day one of this event.
Cleaning up day one. And be putting it back tomorrow.
Yes, it was a good day. Not that busy, but satisfied, happy. Sun is shining. Now packing and we'll be back tomorrow. No sleeping at this fair this time. We had enough sleeping at the militaria fairs this summer. So we'll be driving home after the McDonald's. And well, it was a short night. Straight to bed. Ready for day two. Waking up at 6 in the morning on a Sunday, trust me, you never get used to that. Yes, new day, building up again. Alright, item of this military affair. Found a very cool item at one of the stalls here. Our buddy from Vos Militaria, what was your first name again?
Raymond.
Raymond's gonna tell something about it. It's a very unique item, so I'm gonna give it to Raymond.
Thank you. Yeah, I got a really nice item. It's from Dutch celebration called Sinterklaas. It's been dropped by the RAF around 1941 on the 9th of December. And why did they do that? They wanted to give the children of the Netherlands something extra because we couldn't celebrate Sinterklaas. So what did they do? They made some sweets at Pascal Sweets. That's a British company that makes all kinds of candy. And they dropped it on the 9th of December 1941. And that way the kids had a little extras. What did they also do? They made this package with all kinds of Dutch Sinterklaas songs. And they made it anti-German. So as you can see on the front, you got the song made in the Dutch language.
Surprise for Hitler, it says, and I see the moon shining through the trees. Buddy, hear the noise. The RAF came again, and etc. Sent by St. Nicholas per address RAF. And if you look closely, you see blackface spanking the German, and the little kid or another German is in the back. because the Dutch people at this celebration from Sinterklaas and Blackface,
Yeah.
in the months before, if kids would not listen, the parents would threaten the kids.
Yeah, that they get the roux, and that they will beat with sticks until they are nice,
And
or they go back in the bag with Sinterklaas to Spain. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
And on the back side of the package, you can see Sinterklaas and Blackface in a Spitfire dropping candy.
Super cool.
With more songs made Dutch to anti-German.
Yes. Okay. Really cool item.
Yeah, and I'm from Sinterklaas and then by the Royal Air Force.
Exactly, exactly. These British really knew what we Dutch people liked. So super cool item.
Yeah, very rare. I know that the museum, the Verzetsmuseum at Amsterdam has one on display. I have one and a friend of mine have one, but they're quite rare. You don't see them that often. Yeah, so that's a little piece I wanted to show him.
Thanks a lot for explaining.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll drop his link in the comments. So,
yes, then you can
sure
also see it on the website. Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
So we hope you liked this cool item and our video from the museum and the event. So you've got a good image about this event itself.
End of day 2.
Day 2 done. Now time to go home. And yes, of course, I have to give Jolanda a McDonald's. Else the story would not be complete. So, see you next video, next militaria fair somewhere in Europe. Don't forget, comment, subscribe.